Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of my how to brew kombucha. It's been 2.5 weeks. I haven't posted my video yet, but I'll post it in one fell swoop. And as you can see, I'm going to remove the paper towel. You can see that I've formed a baby mushroom on top of my kombucha. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. You always want to make sure that you have clean hands. And yeah, this is my kombucha baby. You can see that it's attached to my kombucha mother, so I'm just going to separate mother from child. Now I have 2 mushrooms. Now I called them mushrooms in the beginning. They're a colony of yeast and bacteria, and if you can see this stuff that's stuck to the mushroom, this is just dead yeast. So you can throw it away. It's not going to hurt anything. Now, you might want to strain your brew if you're really picky about this stuff. It is kind of gross to see floating around in your kombucha, but it's perfectly natural. There's no, it's not mold. If your kombucha does mold over, you'll be sure to know. It looks like regular household mold. And even if you can see, I've formed 2 babies. So somewhere down the line, my brew was probably disturbed. I'm just going to leave these together, though. It doesn't really matter if you brew with more than one SCOBY or not. And yes, SCOBY is short for symbiotic culture of yeast and bacteria. So I'm going to take my mushroom, and I already put my mother in here, and I'm just going to put the baby in, let him sit for a little while until I brew my next batch. And just so I don't kill my mushroom, I'm going to go ahead and put some of this raw brew in there with them. And from my first video, you remember I put my starter tea in, and oh, it's nice and bubbly. I let it ferment for a long time. This is the starter tea that you're going to use with your next batch, is what's sitting in here. So I've got my kombucha, and I'm just going to go stir around, see if any other mushrooms are formed. And if you can see, I don't know how great this quality of video is, but if you can see or hear, it's fizzing, which is a good sign. This is much better than my first batch, which I only let sit for about 9 days. In my second batch, I only let sit for a little less than 2 weeks. This one I've let sit longer, and it seems like I've had better progress already. So for the second ferment, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add some juice. I made myself some apple and ginger juice before, and that was pretty good. And my favorite was actually the black tea and cherry juice I made last time. So I'm just going to go ahead, add in my juice. And you don't even need to use the whole bottle. I'm using a little bit, more than half. I'll find some other use for this. I might actually try and brew a batch of kombucha wine. Give it a stir. And then the second brew is going to sit for 4 to 5 days. Same as the last batch, cold, dark place. Keep it covered so the fruit flies don't get in. And then after your brew is complete, you're just going to bottle it. You could always do that now and just let the bottles sit in a cold, dark place, just like you do this. But then you've got to cover it with a breathable fabric. Let it sit, then refrigerate it, and you have wonderful, healthy kombucha.